have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe here. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Calling Monster Island. Monster Island.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in again to YHS on Monster Island. I am here with my wonderful, beautiful co-host, JP.
Beautiful. Wow, I love it.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. And
You're welcome. It's true.
Well, I'm here with a man, well, let's just say he digs up demons, tracks down tomatoes, and crusades for crazy Kong collectibles. He is the tycoon of Toylanta. And unlike Super 7, he's always in scale with his co-stars. He's the Mad Maestro of the MonsterVerse and Kaiju podcasting's true leading man, Mr. Jacob Walsh.
Shots at Super 7 right off the bat. I love it. Thank you, Jay. That's awesome. This is gonna be a little bit of a different episode. It's a little more chill. We don't really have like a main thing. This is kind of a like we haven't talked in a while. We're just gonna talk. We both had toy shows in different capacities.
Mm-hmm.
You were a seller at a toy show, and I was a buyer at a different toy show. We're gonna talk about those different things, our experiences, what we saw, what we sold, what we bought. But first of all, I think the first thing we have to talk about is a sad day in Kaiju history here. We had the passing of Akira Takarada last week, and that's such an awful thing, man. There's not a lot of actors in the Godzilla, universe that I feel like you see all the time. You're always like seeing them go to events, do things, kind of connecting with the fans. He was in 1954, the original Godzilla, and he's been with us this entire time. He's been, I feel like he's been in my life, my entire life. He's always there. He pops up in so many great movies, and it's just such a bummer, dude. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, with being a fan of the Showa era, you kind of know that there's only a handful of them left, right? And this time is coming. He was 87. A life well lived is probably an understatement.
Sure.
But you're right. I mean, he literally went from being the new face in 1953, the Toei's new face program, to the face of kind of Godzilla and even the Kaiju genre, which it's just amazing. I mean, the credits are just over the top. But the other cool thing I like about Takarada for Godzilla is like, when you see the interviews, when you see him, like he was a true star, an acting star, and a guy that had a lot of cred, and that was a great actor, but yet he was still representing the Kaiju genre, which it's not always known as being the most critically acclaimed genre. And
right.
So I just felt like Takarada added that air of credibility to the genre and that air of sophistication, and it's really cool. It was very sad, like 87. He's done. He crammed a lot into those 87 years, which is pretty amazing.
For sure, he's been a sort of an ambassador of the franchise, and it's just always been cool. I was able to meet him. I think it was in 2014 whenever the American Godzilla came out. Him and Nakajima, I was able to meet them at the same convention, which is like. That's such a crazy thing to get to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the two biggest stars, I think, in Godzilla history, and to get to meet them at the same time. And that's just so awesome, man. So we could not talk about it. He's gonna be missed, man. I saw that there's kind of a movement. People are trying to get his deleted scene from Godzilla 2014 to get released, which that was always I like that movie a lot. I don't have a lot of gripes with that movie, but that was one that they hired him, put him in it, and then cut him out of it, and it always bummed me out. We never got to see that, so hopefully that's gonna pop up. And I don't know, man. I don't know what else to say, man. It sucks. Like he'll always be, a part of our whole thing, our lives, our podcasting. We're gonna keep talking about him. I don't know, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, because you think about like when we were, Akira Takarada died in '84, and he would have been the other guy from the original '54 that could have like carried on that, because with that, once again, air of credibility. I mean, he was a star, a legitimate star, and obviously he was kind of the co-star with Takarada there, and he died before we got into it. I mean, I was 3. I was not quite. Right.
We were little kids.
Yet. And so like, it was Takarada's the mantle. He kind of took that mantle and became the face. And it is sad. And I guess right now, we have Kenji Sahara and Akira Kubo and Kumi Mizuno still alive, I believe. Like, I mean, like that's it. I mean, Koizuma and Tsuchiya have passed away in the last, 5-10 years. And there's just not a lot of the legends of that golden era of Toho still with us, and Takarada being, was number 1 on that Mount Rushmore. It's really sad. But I was going to ask, that's so cool that you got to meet him. I unfortunately never did. Was never a big convention goer, and totally bummed about that. But such is life. But I'm very cool that you got to meet him and Nakajima together. That is like, I mean, truly, it's like that's Godzilla right there.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
100%.
So important. Yeah, I mean, at least for the people on screen, it's hard to find 2 that have been more integral in the success. I mean, you could argue Tsuburaya Honda, Fukube on the behind the scene, Tanaka, of course, but on screen, it's Nakajima and Takarada are
to me those 2 are to me those
at least
that
were alive when we were old enough to go to conventions. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, those 2 are 100% the big 2. And I remember when I found out they were going to be at a convention together, and that was even before, now you get a couple of the other actors doing rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to meet a couple of the other guys multiple times, which is great. But this was even kind of before that was happening a lot, So I remember just being like, I had a meltdown when I found out they were going to be at a convention pretty close to me. So yeah, dude, I'll remember that forever.
So speaking of Takarada, I'm curious, what are, I should say, some of your like favorite Takarada, either films or performances or what, like when you think of Takarada, nice. I was about to, Oh, great. Lieutenant Commander Nomura. That he's awesome in that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he is.
I think it's cool because he's kind of like the handsome, like I won't say leading man, because you have I forgot the dude that plays the main guy's name. But Takarada's like the guy that gets the girl and like the sex symbol in it and stuff. Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
I mean, he's great in everything. I mean, he's really fun in Ebra, I think. And I mean, I think the best is the original. It's 1954, but it's really cool to see him come back in like Final Wars. It's such a even though Final Wars is such a weird movie and it's not my favorite, it's still like that's such a cool. It's so far away from 1954. What year do you know what off the top of your head what year Final Wars came out?
Oh, it was the 50-year anniversary. So
it was the 50-year anniversry. Yeah. So yeah, it's so down the road, and I don't know what the last thing he was in before Final Wars. I know it had been a while.
Well, he was in the Heisei Mothra, Godzilla versus Mothra.
Okay,
he was like an environmental planning guy. Yeah, whatever it was.
It's just, dude, his face is just, anytime he shows up, you love it. There's none of the performances are like lesser. They're all up here, top tier. He's great, man.
Yeah. I mean, I actually think you mentioned I think my favorite Takarada performance is Ebra, him as Yoshimura, the thief. And, we talked about that on
we were just talking about it, a couple of weeks ago. And it's like fresh in my brain.
He's so good in that role because, like, you get kind of that sly, mischievous type, like, character. It's not as much of a, an honorable straight. And actually, I think there was a lot of subtlety to his performance in 64 in Mothra versus Godzilla as news reporter was Ichiro Sakai. he was awesome in that as well. And seeing him and Koizumi on stage or on screen together is just so cool. Just the two legends, to me, like the legends of the franchise. But I mean, he's done so much other stuff, even within Toho. I mean, he was in, even though small part, he was in the Three Treasures, so the Birth of Japan, which was the original for Yamato Takeru. So therefore, like in spirit, he's part of Yamato
right.
Takeru. But I mean, Half Human, he was the lead in Latitude Zero. I mean, he played in all of these. There was another one of the Toho sci-fi movies that he was in too. Last War, maybe. Anyway, so he's so good, and it just sucks. But the cool news is a lot of times when a celebrity passes or something of that, like you go back and watch some of their best roles. The good news is that's like, sign me up, man. You get to watch it. It's like movies I'd be watching anyway.
It's something like, it sucks. It sucks. It's a part of life. Like whatever, it happens to everybody. But like we're the nature of me and you and what we do. We will be talking about him for as long as this podcast exists, because he is, when you talk about Godzilla as a whole or Kaiju franchise, like to me, him, Nakajima, a few others, they are just a part of what makes Godzilla Godzilla. Like when
100%.
when I say Godzilla movies, I'm not just talking about Godzilla. It's like you're talking about Akira Takarada. So
agree. No, I think that's perfect. And fortunately, I think with us, kind of in our age and our generation, liking something that started in the 50s, we've always had to deal with, and we've never been without the element of these actors, these characters that we love, they're real life actors not being with us anymore, right?
Yeah,
and
well,
so,
I mean, you saying that is like, talking about, recently Ivan Reitman, who, directed Ghostbusters, passed away. And I was having a conversation with Craig about that. And it's like, what, we are getting to the age where like, that's just going to start happening with all these, people that we kind of grew up watching. Yep. So it's like, try to prepare as much as you can.
It is. And the
bummer.
good thing is nothing. Hey, you know what the best thing is though? By him passing, he doesn't take Godzilla 54 with him. He doesn't take King Kong Escapes with him. He doesn't take Ebirah with him.
It makes it more meaningful, I think. I feel like it just makes those more meaningful.
Exactly. Sure. I mean, there will truly never be another Akira Takarada. It's so cool that you got to meet him. And I'm just, like I said, it's just part of being a fan of Godzilla. He's just a critical pillar in this fandom. So, Godspeed, and hopefully catch you on the other side, Mr. Takarada-san.
Yep.
But yeah, on to more fun stuff.
Sure.
Maybe less important, but more fun.
Sure.
Than the passing of a legendary icon.
How do you want to? So I think neither one of us watched anything new. We could skip that.
Yeah, we can. I didn't watch anything. I was too sad.
Yeah, me either. Do we? I know this is we're just gonna get into show notes right here in the middle of the show. Do we want to go straight into our pickups, or do we want to talk about these toy shows first, or do we want to hit the news?
Let's do the toy shows first, and then we'll talk about pickups. We'll kind of do those two together, and then we can end, because I think the news item probably
we'll end on Super 7.
No, there's a lot of positive in Super 7 too. That I joke about this stuff.
100%.
But we probably can end on the movie news, because it's probably the biggest. We have no main events. We kind of have like 4 main events. So
yes,
it's
all a main event.
The toy shows. Yeah. I'll let you start, man. Talk a little Toylanta.
Sure. Yeah, so I went to Toylanta. I've been going the last few years. I think it was canceled a couple years ago, but anyway, I've gone to Toylanta a couple times. Me, Craig, Abby, and Jess. We all went for all 3 days this time. We usually just go on a Saturday, but we got the early bird. We got the preview passes for Friday. You get in for like 2 hours. You get in an hour before everybody else on Friday or Saturday and Sunday. And it was cool, man. It was fun. There's never enough money when you go to a toy show. But sadly, not a lot of kaiju stuff. There just isn't. There were a couple things. Toylanta started as a G.I. Joe toy show. It used to be exclusively G.I. Joe. So you do have a good number of vendors that are all GI Joe, and one of those vendors had the Combat Joe Godzilla, and he had like the deluxe one where it was the suit, both heads, the human figure, and he wanted $500 for it. It stayed there the whole weekend. Nobody ever bought it. I walked by it a million times. I really wanted that thing.
Yeah.
But $500 is a lot of money.
Very much so.
I don't think it's overpriced. Me and you did a little bit of research on it. That seems to be $500-600. Seems to be like a reasonable price for this figure. But to me, the figure's cool. I want it. I want to be able to put my other 12-inch figures in a Godzilla costume. The sculpt on it is really cool. I've always thought it was a great figure, but $500 is not like where my head's at for that thing. You know, it's like if I could get it for like $250, I'll buy it, but I'm not going to spend that much on it. I did talk to the guy. He opened it up for me. He showed it to me. It was missing a bandana. It was missing a shirt. Still, those have to be the like. They're probably half of them are probably missing those things. He said he would do $450, but still that just wasn't where I was at. So I didn't get it, man. I didn't get that. There was no Sofubi. Somebody had was it the Shogun Rodan that I sent you a picture of? Somebody had that.
That's a grail piece for a lot of people. Yeah,
they wanted $2,000 for it out of box. It looked cool, but Rodan's not my favorite. It's big, so it's impressive. I'm not paying $2,000 for that. So that was it, man. There was a couple Ultraman toys. I did pick up like 2 kaiju related things. They're not big, great. They're not impressive, but I will show them off when we get there. I ended up buying a bunch of other stuff. I bought some Jurassic Park. I bought Tales from the Crypt. I bought Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Just a bunch of random stuff, but not a lot of kaiju stuff.
Well, I mean, we could argue Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I mean, they're kaiju, and also Jurassic Park. I mean, I think you have one you got to show that I think a lot of kaiju fans, because we can debate, because even though they are dinosaurs, because of their DNA alteration, are they indeed kaiju? We have to, but you have to show that one off because that's a grail piece for a lot of people.
I'll show it. Sure, I'll show it. It is a grail piece, and if you watch other YHS, if you watch Toy Anxiety, we did an episode a couple weeks ago where we talked about holy grails of ours, and one of mine is it's a rare, hard to find, expensive Jurassic Park piece. And it's this guy. It's the Carnosaurus. Yeah, the demon. And he's hard to find. I got him in package, which is insane that I now own this. Craig asked me if I was going to open this up. And I was like, Craig, no. This one is not. This isn't the one you open. This is one that stays in box.
Yeah, you don't open the Carnotaurus, man. You don't open him up.
Carnosaurus, it's in really good condition. It's everything's here. It's got all the pieces. I checked. It has been like... It's been opened, but he's still attached to the card and everything.
Oh, wow.
It's not,
nice.
Yeah, like it's still got he's still attached there. But yeah, dude, not really kaiju, but I'm happy and proud of this thing, so we'll show it off.
Kaiju adjacent. Kaiju adjacent.
Yeah, whatever. How was your? Go ahead.
Oh, but didn't you see the Pop Life, the big Kaiju Ninja Turtles, the big Kaiju Ninja Turtles?
Oh, you know what? Somebody had all 4 of those. Those are beautiful. They're awesome.
They're cool.
I would love to have them. He wanted $1,000 for the 4 of them, $1,000 for all 4, or he told me he would split them up for $250, which at first I thought was not a bad price because they're big. They're
huge. They're 18 inches.
Huge.
Yeah.
But then, I talked to you a little bit. I looked it up and I saw that you can just buy them on eBay for like $175. You can just all day they're on eBay for $175. So I was like, oh, because at one point I was like, hey, if I don't buy anything else, I might buy a Kaiju turtle. But if I can get it online for $175 and he's selling for $250, that's too big of a jump for me. I was like,
oh, for sure. I mean, they're not super rare because they were a Pop Life, but they were a joint collab with like Nickelodeon is involved in it. So like they produce some, so they're very cool though, and they are big. They're 18 inches tall.
Yeah, dude, and the colors are beautiful. And one of the things about them is now I don't know who your favorite Ninja Turtle is, Jay.
Michelangelo.
Michael. Okay, that's fine. Mine is Raphael. Raphael is my favorite turtle.
I could have guessed that.
He's my least favorite of the Kaiju turtles. I don't like his colorway because he's just straight. The whole turtle's red. I like all three of the other turtles. I was like sitting here and I was like, well, maybe I want the Donatello. And maybe I like maybe I want the Donatello and the Michelangelo, I think, are the better colors of those four. But I was just sitting for a while. Because I don't think anybody ever bought those either. They stayed there all weekend. But those are cool. Those are impressive. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad I didn't pick one of those up, because if I did, at some point I'd want the other three. They're big. They take up a lot of space. I'm already trying to get rid of some turtle stuff because NECA is killing it. Dude, there was somebody had a bunch of Super 7 Ultimate turtles, and they were selling them all. They were all still in the boxes, and they had multiples of each one for $40, which is a good, I mean, because Super 7 Ultimates are about $62 with shipping. And I almost bought one or two, but I was like, you know what? I have rules when it comes to Super 7. I have rules when it comes to Super 7's turtles, and if I do this, I'm messing up. So I did not touch it.
Well, I've been looking at those turtles because, like, aesthetically in the room, I mean, you can't see from the camera, but like, it goes from this wall of Kaiju, bleeds into this wall of Kaiju, bleeds into this wall of Kaiju, bleeds into this wall of Ninja Turtles. And so it's like, do I have one? It could be kind of my transitional piece.
Dude, now you got to get one.
Am I overthinking that?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. You need
one. Man. But yeah, so I was able to have a fun toy weekend as well. But to your point, I was on the selling side. I was behind the booth, behind the table, making deals. And so I was at the Retro Expo in Plano, Texas, which is a suburb in, like, north of Dallas. It's a big city. Lots of big companies are based there. Toyota, Dr. Pepper's a big super suburb, if you will. And they do this show quarterly. They also do shows in Denver and down near, like, I believe either Austin or San Antonio area here in Texas as well. And it's I would say 80% big toy show, a 2-day toy show. And then they also have some celebrities come in for autograph signings. The headliners were Dirk Benedict from A-Team and Body Slam and Battlestar Galactica. Okay. And Jason David Frank from Power Rangers. And they had about another 10 or 15 other signees. Anyway, and that's why the Mach 5 from Speed Racer there, which is kind of cool. But anyway, I'm not a car guy, but like anytime you see a movie car, it's kind of cool.
It's always impressive, no matter what.
Yeah, no, right. Anyway, so it was one of my first toy shows I've done that was a bigger toy focused show. I've done bigger shows, but they've been, an anime convention or something, or a smaller toy show that's like, a monthly one. This was like kind of a nice hybrid of those, and it was an excellent weekend. It was interesting because, those that know, Toku Toy Town know that I try to keep a very eclectic inventory. It's obviously Sofubi heavy. I have a lot of cool Sofubi pieces. But I do have a lot of, your traditional Bandai vinyls, right? And then some other wacky Kaiju stuff, right? Balloons from the 70s and neckties.
The good stuff.
Squeaky hammers. The good stuff, right? And it was funny because the show, I would say 90% of my sales were like good old-fashioned Bandai vinyls. Like, people came, and I'm talking, what was really encouraging was kids that were 6, 7, 8 years old, decked out in full Godzilla stuff, were coming and like saying, "Oh, I want a Baragon. I want a I'm like, holy cow!" I'm like and this is in Plano, Texas, at this toy show. Like, oh my gosh! Like, the next generation, I feel much better now. Like, it's not just MonsterVerse, right? Nothing against the MonsterVerse, but like, these kids are
different.
Out and, and one of the kids had a shirt of Godzilla doing the Shie dance from
the dance?
Invasion of Astro Monster. I was like, amazing.
Jeez, where do you get that? Did you ask him?
Should ask him. There was a vendor
where he got that shirt.
Yeah, there was a vendor selling it there. Yeah, not me. But it was a great weekend. It was my best toy show. But there were just a lot of a cast of characters that came by that were just talking about their experiences with the Kaiju, and it's funny to see like the people that go to toy shows when you're on the vendor side. Yeah. I mean, you have like all the cast of characters. You have the guy that comes and will sit there and talk to you for 4 hours and not buy one thing. He just wants to tell you all the stuff he currently has.
Oh, right. Try to impress you.
Yeah. I'm like, cool, man. And then there's always the guys like, Oh, Godzilla. I remember those when I was a kid, you know, the classic, you know, vintage toy show
Yeah.
stuff. I did have one lady tell her people like, look at that booth of dinosaur statues. So I had that one. And then my favorite line of the night where there's these two kids and they're probably college age. And they were, you know, like just very like contemplating, like pontificating, like very like sternly and you know, on the stuff. And the guy looks over to his friend and is like, you know, I've never seen a Gamera movie, but I like the idea of Gamera movies. I'm like, where am I? This is amazing.
Okay.
Did not buy anything either, but there were some cool folks there, and I got to meet some other like kaiju collectors that I knew online that were local to the area. So Ryan Wilhelm came and hung out, and you know Ryan, for those that saw our Sofubi Jamboree, Kaiju All Stars, he's local. A guy that runs one of the big Matango Facebook groups, Gordon Flynn. I've done some deals with him. He's awesome. He's a great model builder and artist. He came and hung out for a bit, and I met a couple other folks that were just really, really, really cool, and a couple other vendors, some that weren't boothing there. And it was just neat to say, like, there's some cool people selling kaiju toys, collecting kaiju toys in my market. And guess what, guys? I think there's probably some in your market as well. So, like, go out there, reach out, go to these toy shows, talk to the people, because, you know, now we have a little mini Facebook group going between us, like just talking kaiju and like trying to do meetups here locally.
Yeah, dude. That's very cool.
Yeah. So it's like that's kind of stuff was almost as cool as being able to get really cool kaiju collectibles in the hands of folks there. And, you know, Jake, you would have liked this show because even if I wasn't there, there were about 3 or 4 other booths that had sizable kaiju collections. There was one guy that he has a big toy store, like He-Man, Turtles, G.I. Joe, you name it. But he has a big Godzilla selection, including some Sofubi. Like, he had some good stuff. My stuff was better, but I mean, he was really good. And and there was even a custom vinyl, custom Sofubi designer vinyl toy vendor there that called Warriors of the Universe that had all of their original stuff.
Okay.
They had a huge table.
That's cool.
Like, you walk in and they had this big, it almost looked like it was paper mache, but it's probably vinyl. It was like this tall, like basically like a human torso. It was like this big Cyclops head that was one of their characters. And it was like the first thing you see when you walk into the whole toy room. It's very cool. So it's a good show. It was a great show, and I had a blast. And I got my wife to work it, who knows nothing about kaiju. But she now knows how much a King Ghidorah Bandai Vinyl costs. And
she's probably like, what? She's like, how?
No,
much?
she's aware. She's aware. But it was funny because she's like, I know, like, because my little 3-year-old daughter, she talks about monsters even on her class and stuff. She's like, I want a King Ghidorah, I want a Rodan, I want a Mothra. And now, like, my wife feels like she's caught up to my 3-year-old now on knowing the kaiju names.
That's amazing.
But it was super fun, dude. I wish you guys would have been there. Y'all would have bought a lot of cool stuff. And it
would have broke me, Jay. It would have broke me. If it wasn't that, it would all went to you. That's, dude. I'm telling you, if you end up doing Dragon Con, you're gonna get all my money. Like, that's what it's gonna be. No, dude. Yes, you are. I'm telling you right now. When I go to Dragon Con, I save my money for the dealer rooms, and I never buy anything because there's not any great stuff. But if you're there and I see it all in front of me, I'll be like, I'm just gonna give my money to Jay this weekend.
Grab it. Well, I was trying to make enough money so I could buy. One guy had 2 mint on card in the casing scratches, and they were going for.
Did you get them?
He wanted $15,000 a pop for them, and I'm like, that's not happening.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna do like 6 to 7, and that's still obviously way out of my price range. But I would have been I would have humored him a bit. 15, I just couldn't do it.
I can't wait until the day where Craig buys one and then opens it.
No.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it for the clicks.
Oh, yeah.
Buy a scratch. He's gonna open it.
100%, dude. But it was fun. Toy shows are great, man.
They're great, man. I'm excited about going to a couple more. I think we're gonna try to hit up a couple more this year. It's like, it's stressful. It's stressful. Like, first of all, it's like the most fun ever to just be in these giant rooms full of mainly vintage toys.
It's like a big hug,
dude. It's crazy. It's just everywhere you look, there's stuff, and it's just fun, man. It's fun to spend money. It's fun to come home with a bunch of toys, and that's all I want to do.
Money. It's more fun to spend it. Yeah,
it's all I want to do in my life is to spend money because money's fake.
We spend so much of our lives collecting things through nostalgia because we had it when we were a kid or we wanted it when we were a kid, or things that like look cool that we love, or a property that we love, to show our fandom. And like you go into a room where there's literally 100 stalls where most of them are selling something that can connect you in some way. Now, whether you'll buy it or not is whatever. It's like what we're striving to do is just there. You can for that 3-day period in your case, or 2-day period in my case, like I'm just surrounded by G.I. Joe and Transformers and He-Man and Godzilla and everything that, when I was a kid that we had. And I mean, literally the booth next to us, we backed up to another booth. They had like open shelves. And then the first day mine was open before my banner got hung. And so I would just basically like my back wall was like Teddy Ruxpin and all this other stuff. I'm like, I'm gonna steal that grubby. I'm gonna steal that grubby. And then like he had some of these amazing bootlegs from China. The Nebular Warlords, which was kind of like a He-Man ripoff, which was amazing. There's just all this because I'm just like, I want to live here.
Yeah, dude, it's also another thing I like about toy shows is it's really fun for me to see what other people are spending a lot of money on. Like, especially when it's stuff that I am not interested in at all. Like, I give Craig a lot of shit, and I hope he knows that I'm just messing with him. But like this weekend, he bought a Street Fighter like playset and like 6 or 7 figures that go with it, and I have never heard him say anything about Street Fighter until like the day of the show. Like we were walking in and he was like, I want to buy a Street Fighter thing, and I'm like, what? And and like I give him shit about it, but I like seeing people who are just interested in things that I'm just like, why? I would never buy that. I like that. I like seeing that I don't know, people buy all kinds of weird shit. And I'm sure people are like, why did he buy the entire Tales from the Crypt Keeper toys? Like, what is that? And I'm like, well, I love it and I want it. So,
we get so many.
It's fun, man. It's interesting.
Toys. Yeah, we buy Kaiju toys. We get a lot of people like, what? And because they come
especially Kaiju, because they can be pricey for something that's 6 inches, and people are like, what are you doing? Why are you buying that? It's
it's like when you hold up, I spent $250 on this Gezera. Yeah, I know, right? Well, it's funny. I'll end on this because it dovetails nicely what you just said. Like I had this there because it was the Retro Expo. They had a lot of even like retro, like 30s and 40s and 50s play sets, like Western play sets and retro sci-fi play sets. And they had one guy that was selling these like handmade piggy banks that were made from all these like retro like materials from like the 20s and 30s and 40s. And this guy was 100 years old, right? And he just like he walked around and he stopped at our booth and he's looking at our stuff, like he goes, what is this? And I tried to explain it like whatever, and he goes, well, I mean, this is like an old, you have to imagine this overweight, like old 80-year-old man with glasses, like overalls, like this, like kind of backwoods witticism, like folksiness to him, and he's just like, I guess there's an ass for every seat, and he just walks off. I'm like, yep. I was like, hey, dude, you're selling not piggy banks. I'm sorry, you're selling banks of some sort to at a with pop culture fair. But anyway, it's to each their own. But it was fun. I love it. Everybody, go to your nearest toy show, buy some toys. Yeah.
Go to a toy show for sure. It made me want to buy more toys. Like we all bought a lot of stuff, and we put together, a little video. If anybody listening or watching wants to check it out, check out the channel, YHS. Yes, have some. We put out a toy show video. You can see everything. Well, most everything that we all bought. There's a little tracker of how much money we collectively spent, which is sort of embarrassing, but it's there and you can see everything we bought. But I watched the video and I was like, well, that made me want to buy more toys. That's me. I bought those, but now I want to go buy more. Well,
speaking of buying toys, what did you buy?
Let's get into some pickups. I'll show off. So like I said, there wasn't a lot of Kaiju stuff there. I did pick up 2 Kaiju related things at the toy show. I'll show those off first. They're not, these big, wonderful pieces like I'm sure you're going to show off, but I will show off the fact that I bought this ridiculous Trendmasters 98 Godzilla baby figure. I like these.
Yeah, they're cool.
Like, even though, none of us really like I say none of us, I mean me and you, Jay, not everyone listening. Godzilla 98 is not our favorite. I do like the toys, and I have a couple of the babies already, and I kind of like the idea of like Army building a bunch of baby Godzillas. And this is cool. It was in package, and I got it really cheaply. I bundled it with something Craig was looking for, so I'm probably going to open this, take it out of the package, toss the package. But yeah, little baby Godzilla. Nothing fancy. They had the woman who had this also had like one of the human figures. Mm-hmm. And she was going to give me a really good deal on both of them, but I was like, I don't want the human figure. I was like, I don't need the Nick Tatopoulos figure. I just want the baby Godzilla. I don't care about that one. The one other kaiju thing that I picked up at the toy show, I'm very excited about this very weird thing. I saw this and I felt like a child.
And it made our intro.
Yeah, I got this Kong face and chains is what is the official name to this thing. This is
so disturbing.
It's just like a costume, like a cosplay set from Peter Jackson's King Kong. The Peter Jackson King Kong toys are on my list of a toy line that I'd like to collect one day, but they are insanely expensive. They're very expensive. They're hard to come by. This was very cheap, and it was just sitting there, so I grabbed it. It's ridiculous. It's so silly. Kong face and chains had to be mine.
I'm going to go ahead and make this statement here. We can earmark it, and I'm going to put a pin in it and whatever. Best pickup we've ever had on this show goes to the Kong face and chain.
Kong face and chain. Yeah. I want to pick. I kind of want to pick up a second one because I want to open this and wear it, but I also don't want to open this because. And dude, what I'm gonna have to get to go with it. If you look at the back here, there's also electronic Kong arms. I need that.
Collect them all.
Yeah, dude. There's some great stuff here. So. Whoo. Now you can be the king of Skull Island with these real breakaway action chains and Kong face. Yeah, I love it. This was an instant. I didn't even think about it. I said, that's mine. Taking that home.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a huge group Dragon Con costume next year to get enough of those for everybody just to walk around in like regular clothes, but just with the electronic hands, the chains, and the mask.
We'll do it. Do you want me to keep going? You want to hit up?
Yeah, whatever, man.
All right.
Just show.
It's our show.
It's our show. Okay.
It wouldn't be a show without you. Craig
featuring JP.
Craig picked up something. I believe this was something he ordered for me for my birthday, and it didn't come in time, but he had it waiting when I went up to Atlanta. But he did get me a box of Series 1 of the Ultraman trading cards. Full box, 36 packs. 3D glasses.
3D glasses with it?
Yeah, well, I think this was a Kickstarter. I think they did a Kickstarter to do this. And it's weird because as I'm opening the packs, it's like some packs have like one 3D card in the back. I opened a couple packs that were just like 6 3D cards. And then there are like sketch cards that aren't actually, they're like printed. They're not actually sketch cards, not like a real sketch. It's like a card that is artwork. And I would get packs that the whole pack was like the artwork cards. And I'm like, somebody didn't pack these very well. But I did get a blank sketch card in here. It's blank and it's for you to put your own sketch on or to get an artist to do that. It's like kind of lame that I didn't get a real sketch card. It's blank, but I can get at Dragon Con if Matt Frank comes this year, I'll get him to put a little thing on there. But then I also did get a printing plate, which is cool. It's a metal printing plate that they actually use to print the cards, but it's like a blank one. It's like it's like a background.
Your own autograph card with.
It's for like a background, and there's nothing on it. It's a magenta front, 1 of 1, which it's cool because it's a 1 of 1 metal card. But it's blank. I saw some others that actually have. I was like, cool, high stuff. But it's cool. What I like the most about this what I like the most about this set is not just Ultraman. It's like Ultraman and Ultra Q. So there's a lot of Ultra Q cards in here as well, and I love that. So yeah,
very cool.
Cool little box of cards.
How did that not make YHS cardio?
we thought about it, but 36 packs. I don't want to open 36 packs of cards live. And there's also like, we didn't realize it at the time, but Craig was like, "Hey, there's no autographs in that." But then I opened the box and there's a poster, and the poster is kind of like an ad, and there were some signers for that. There are some autographs, but those are if you get like you have to get like the special edition box. So there's none in my boxes, but if you were to buy the special edition box, you do have the option of maybe getting some autographs. I think there's a series 2 of that coming out soon. It's cool. Yeah. So
very cool.
Cool. So, all right, well, we'll move on from that. And let's see. I got a couple more things. Something that I know we both picked up, we'll talk about, is the Crunchyroll Sleeping Godzillas here. These finally came in after a long wait. I love this guy, man. I kind of want more of these. I kind of want some different colors. I like him. I like this guy a lot. This is such a cool sculpt. I've always loved sleeping and napping Godzillas. This is awesome. This is great. I love it.
You know what I love about this? You know what I love about these figures? Because your biggest pet peeve for Godzilla for Godzilla toys is totally unnecessary in this figure. He needs no articulation in the middle of his body, but yet they still decide to do it just so he can get his dorsal fin gap there. Yeah. Yep.
Just to get a dorsal fin
Big
gap.
middle finger to Jacob Walsh. That's what that
was.
Yeah,
put him in there for nothing. Makes no sense, but whatever.
Makes no sense. It's just so they can have the gap.
Just so they can be dumb. Cool. So another thing I got, and I know we're going to be talking about Super 7 a little later, but I did get Super 7 reaction. Did you got
I did,
right?
Yeah. So I totally forgot about it. Mine's up there.
Yeah. Got this guy. He came in while I was in Atlanta at the toy show. But this is I like this card. This is cool.
Yeah. Are you going to keep it in the card, or are you going to take it out?
Nah, dude, I'm probably going to open it. I'm starting to get over keeping things in package. Unless it's something that's like a super special edition to me, I'm going to just start opening shit. So I like it. It looks cool. I love that it's got the little sticker here in the lettering. But this is going to get open. It's just going to get put in the case.
And I have like 100 Morrison actual header cards, so I don't need that.
There you go. You don't need another one. Cool.
That's a cool figure. It's a lot. Even though I know they're like the reaction style and stuff, like it's a well-made toy. Like being that small.
It looks great, man, and it's gonna look good. Like they keep going. It's gonna look good right next to the Shogun, and also right next to my US toys. They're a little smaller, but it's a great little front row. You put them in the front. You
don't need a riser for them. They're the perfect height. Yeah, it's short kids in front, man.
I got one more thing, and this is something. I did a pre-order for. I don't know, so long ago that I forgot, months ago. But I did get this autograph in the mail. It was part of a private signing. I got this Jet Jaguar autograph. The actor's name, it's eluding me. We were talking about it.
Kamada.
There you go. Boy. There we go. Jet Jaguar autograph. I love this. I'm very excited to get this up, get it up with the other autographs.
That's my favorite scene. I mean, that's my favorite. Like, that's just an amazing. It's amazing.
I was a little bummed out that in their the options of pictures you could get signed, there was not a Godzilla Jet Jaguar handshake photo. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted. I wanted the handshake. There were none. But then I thought this was a good one. I believe he's going to be at G-Fest. So, there's room to get another autograph on here. So I went with this one. That's just such an iconic photo. I love it. So I thought it was a no-brainer. Now it
captures the movie. It just captures the vibe of the movie.
That's all you need. There was something I'm a little bummed out about, is that there was also included with that, there was like a private, like an online like hangout with him. was like a Zoom hangout that if you bought autograph, you could watch. You could put in questions. He'll answer your questions. And I 100% forgot about it. They weren't very good at emailing reminders. They were just like, hey, this is going to happen in 2 months. You can go. And I was actually in Atlanta when it was happening, and I forgot all about it. And I saw somebody I follow on Instagram posted it in their stories, and I'm just like, fuck, that happened yesterday. And I'm here in Atlanta. Didn't even remember about it. So I missed the Q&A of the little online Zoom hang, but I got the autograph. So I'm
yeah,
happy.
The autographs. I mean, hey, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. That is, I absolutely just adore that photo, and that's a cool one to get.
I love it. It's great, Jay. That's all my pickups, man.
That's good, dude. That's
some smaller things, but very cool. Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I didn't buy a ton over the last couple of weeks, but I had a couple pre-orders come in and things that I was expecting.
Okay.
So it's going to look bigger than the actual spend was, but I too got the Super 7 and the Medicom, the Crunchyroll Sleeping Godzilla, like we mentioned. So I had a little luck, and I won a Medicom lottery, and so I was able to secure my first. And I've talked. I don't want to say I talk shit on it, but like I've mentioned, like I'm not a Unraku and Saku fan, right? Like I mean,
right.
Like I'm not a super fan. I like all of his stuff. A lot of the stuff is really cool, but it's not like I'm not one of those guys. It's like every time that when they release something, then I have to buy it, right? But yeah, they did a 68, and I love Destroy All Monsters. I love 68, so I got this bad boy, and he's big. He's an EX. He's a big boy.
Whoa.
Got this guy.
I love that.
And I absolutely love him. Yeah. And it's a 68, so I'm going to get it, right? And totally dig it. It's the chunky Unraku and Saku style that everybody's very familiar with at this point with these Medicom releases. So I was excited to get this. And I love the colorway on it. It's very cool, and it's big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's funny because like, and I know this is once again part of the style, but like even Sofubi, like, the dorsal spines are cut normally like they should be. This one even has like the gaps aren't even cut out.
Yeah, it's just all one. Yeah.
It's just very Naku and Saku style. But
I like that a lot.
Look at that face. Look at that guy. I mean, come on. I love him. Gotta give him a hug.
I like that a lot. That's very cool.
Yeah. So another pre-order, non-lottery that came in. This is one I ordered many months ago. Finally came in, and it wasn't an X Plus, but it was another one. CCP. I don't have a lot of CCP. I've sold some, and they do a lot of the really wacky Hedoras, including like the one that's like the poison dart frog one, inspired one, and all these wacky ones. But they had one they released not too long ago, or that they pre-ordered not too long ago, that was cosmic or galaxy themed, and so I picked up this bad boy right here.
Okay.
And I absolutely love this one. And it's hard to see, like, it has like the spackling to make it look like stars.
Right.
But the coolest thing about this, and it'll be hard to see here, are the eyes. So anybody gets this big CCP Galaxy eyes, they look like, if I can get in there, it's almost like it's like a galaxy or a nebula in there, and it's done in this, like with this glass eye, and they are mesmerizing. Like, it is truly like hypnotic. It's freaking amazing. So I'll be honest with you. Like, I never gravitate towards the Hedera figures. I'm not going to be the next Andy Peters. I'm not going to have 800 of them. And I don't typically buy CCP, but there's something about this one that I just absolutely love, and it's a big figure.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the two large scale ones.
Those are two impressive pickups so far.
Yeah. The other two things that I got, I got three things. The other two, and I'm actually the smallest one I'm going to say for last because I think you'll get a kick out of it.
Okay.
The other two are number 10 and 11.
Oh boy!
Doji front.
Here we go.
I'm getting there.
Let's see them.
This is an old one that I've sold 100 times that I finally got. It was the blue glitter.
Love that. Love that.
So I'm going to spend time on him. We've seen him. But then I got the Godzilla store exclusive came in. So this is the green glitter with the gold glitter spines.
Oh.
And guys, he's my favorite. He's my favorite one so far. Look at this guy. And no back spine. You get the gap here at the tail.
Nice.
But at least the tail makes sense from an articulation standpoint. But I absolutely adore this guy. I mean, just look at that.
That's a beautiful toy, man.
And I love the two-tone. I guess the gold isn't glitter here, but he's green vinyl with gold and silver glitter, and then gold painted accented spines here. But absolutely love this guy. Like truly, this is I think this guy and the I absolutely do love still the Disco Goji. And I think maybe that red clear vinyl with the gold paint, those might be my favorite ones. Like I just love them. They're so
Dude,
good.
you gotta once you get the whole set, you're gonna have to rank them.
Yeah, I totally will. I can do like a big Brady Bunch photo with all their faces.
Oh, yeah.
So right now, I do have a green clear coming in, so I'm only 2 down. So
okay.
I need the classic one, the original, like just blue green one, and then the pink glow in the dark, which I cannot find anywhere anymore. That's going to be a tricky one. And then of course, by the time I get that, they will launch like 17
there'll be
new ones.
3 more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but no, I love them. I'm every time I get them, they just makes me smile and makes me happy and such. But the last thing I got, you can kind of see it in the background over there from Marasan. Oh, other side, Jake. Marasan. Now my kaijus better watch out. They piss me off. I got a Maser Cannon Sofubi now to go after them. Look at that thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Yes, it's so cool.
You need to army build those.
I know, right? They have some other similar items that you can other trailers and stuff like that. But the Maser Cannon, I can get a couple of these and down go Sofubi, man. But I love it. It's just I love the Maser Cannon is just such a iconic kaiju. Even though I know it started in World of Gargantuas, but even within Godzilla, it's so.
I always thought that
iconic.
When I was a kid, I always thought that was a real thing. You know, I thought that there were. I thought the army had Maser cannons.
Hey, they need them.
Why don't they?
I know, right? So the Maser Cannon, even though I got my favorite Biogoji, which is my favorite subline, and I got my 68, and I got my favorite Hedera. I think the favorite thing I got might have been the Maser Cannon.
Well, it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a different that's always some of the fun stuff is when you find that one toy that's just like, why is this? Why does this exist? Why don't I own this? It's such a weird. I mean, sure it makes sense, but it's like not everybody's out there thinking like, oh, I want the Maser Cannon. So
no, right.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. It truly is like one of my kind of on a whim like purchases was the Marasan Gilala that had that little VHS, like the little display.
Yeah.
And it's and when you walk into my room, it's right over here. It's like arm's length away. It's like sitting on something kind of by itself. It's the first thing you see when you walk in, and it makes me smile every day. I'm like, that was not on my to get list ever until like I saw it. I'm like,
see it and you need it.
And like, oh yeah, and it makes me happier than some of the things that I was like, oh my god, I can't wait till this comes out. I'm gonna be the first person on here to make sure I get it. And I'm like, after whatever, I'm bored with it. But I see that every day, and I'm like, I love you, Mr. Gilala. That's so great.
Man, you know, one other thing I want to say real quick that I did get, but I don't have it with me, and I know you got it too. Is the Gamera zine came out.
Oh my gosh, yes, it did.
I don't have it close by. But it's fine.
It's fine. I can put it in post production.
The Gamera zine finally came out. Everybody's getting those in the mail, and I was surprised how big it is. It's
huge.
I was like, "What is this? I ordered. What book is this?" It's a very big. You know, I did do a piece of art for that. Which I don't really like. I don't like my own. I don't like my art that's in there. I kind of wish they'd take it out.
Dude.
Everybody ripped my page out. It doesn't deserve to be in there with there's some great stuff in there. There's a lot of great artists. It's really cool. Yeah. I haven't gone through and read all the articles in there yet, but I've been in the Discord for a while seeing people post their like process and teases of their artwork. And I've been super excited to be a part of it and to just own it and to see it. And it's out there. And I would imagine that a lot of our listeners probably know about it or also own it. So yeah, man, it was fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, and your stuff is awesome, man. Your Gauss was great, and I posted on my Instagram on at Toku Toy Town. I posted an image of it, and there's some like legit, like it wasn't just like you and then a bunch of other people. Like it was like you and your peers, like other really great artists.
Yeah,
it was awesome. I think it was a great. And you're right. It's not. it's worth the spin because you get a lot of really cool imagery and,
For sure.
pictures and photographs and some cool stuff. They did a really great job on it, and yours picture is awesome, man. It's
And it's-
definitely the one without Gamera in it, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, well, you know, like I kind of I tried to like kind of put a faint hint of Gamera in the background, but he's blurred out because I was like I didn't know how strict our rules were that I had to have a Gamera in it, and there was a rule about not making it too gory or bloody, and I didn't want to overdo it because that scene is that scene's a little gory, but it was about as gory as you could get out of a Gamera movie, so I was like, I'm gonna go with that. That is my favorite scene in those movies is that fucking Gauss with its eye hanging out. I love it.
And the picture and the photo, or excuse me, the piece of art that you're next to in the book makes it even better. It's so funny. I won't spoil that. You go out there and buy the magazine, but that's it adds to the fact that, like you said, yours pushes the line of what's probably allowed from a gore standpoint, and it's next to one, let's just say, that does not.
Sure. I love it. I love it.
It's good stuff, though. Go buy it.
Yeah. As far as pickups, I think you got anything else? Or?
I got nothing, man.
Yeah.
That's tap me out.
Man, let's knock this news out, dude.
Yeah.
I know we got here. Mondo's doing a Ghidorah Tiki mug. I don't think that's huge news. Like I don't care about the Tiki mugs.
I hate Tiki mugs, and this would be one I might actually buy. I actually liked
it. We don't even have anything. We don't have to say anything else about it. Mondo's doing a Ghidorah Tiki mug.
Go check it out.
Talk about these Hedoras that are coming out.
Okay, man. I'm really excited about this, and this was kind of the one I wanted to talk about before we get into kind of the big two news items.
Yeah.
And I'll see if I'm going to share my screen here because this is definitely one that visuals are needed. So apologize for those that are listening on the audio feed. So Yasuyuki Inoue he worked as an assistant art director for a long time at Toho, and then eventually became art director. Was really instrumental in Hedorah, but also like even some earlier Showa stuff like Destroy All Monsters. I mean, Tsuburaya, Inoue, like they're up there, and they're doing a big they did a big 100th anniversary of his birth. He passed away a while ago, and he was born in 1922. And the art exhibit's doing they're doing an art exhibit about some of his stuff, and they released these two. Marasan released these two Hedoras, a 350 and a 450. And I'm going to share my screen here. And I thought these were. Oh well, you know what? I just lost my permission. I'll have to add these in post edit.
Sure.
And because Chrome just booted me from that. But anyway, they did these really cool, a 350 that is this black and yellow and purple. It's very cool. It has almost a metallic iridescence to it. It's so beautiful. I absolutely adore it. I think it's so cool. I adore it. And then the next one, and these are all at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Tokyo. Like, this is like the Mocha Tokyo. And then the 450 though is just the best way I can explain it. It's probably 12 or 14 inches tall, and it's clear vinyl mixed with a Jackson Pollock painting.
Well, it looks like somebody just spilled paint on it.
Yeah, it is yellow and green and red, which are the original Bullmark colors for Hedorah. So I love that kind of subtle tie-in. But it's just like, it's Jackson Pollock. It's splatter painted all over it. And it is this just massive mamma jamma. And it is awesome. And it is stunning and beautiful. And for those that question Kaiju Sofubi as being art toys and designer toys, look at this bad boy. And it'll change your mind. I absolutely adore this, and both of these will be coming to Tokyo Toy Town soon. But I absolutely do love these Inoue exhibit exclusives. Am so excited to actually see these in person. But I thought these were well worth the being a news item because they were just
for sure. Yeah, they're great, man. I love them both. Like there's something about the sculpt is really cool. I like the purple one a lot. The purple and the yellow.
Me too.
Like his hands are kind of got the yellowish color. It fades into the black. I love it.
Yeah.
Whew, cool, man. Let's see. We got some more toy news. Should we do the Super 7 thing?
We should. No, I'll let you kick that one off. I know you've already talked about it a little bit for those that watch Toy Anxiety.
Yeah.
So, they beat us to the punch, but we'll be more in depth.
Yeah, Super 7 has finally unveiled their Godzilla Ultimates after a lot of teasing, after months of wondering if it was actually happening. First wave is 2 figures. They are, I believe, they're 8-inch figures, so they're a little bigger than their usual Ultimates. And the price tag is also a bit bigger. They are $85 a piece. You can get them both for $170. And it is Godzilla 89 by Biogoji and Biolante Rose form, which I think Rose form Biolante is cool. Like, you don't get as much of that stuff from the photos. I think the sculpt on Godzilla looks great. His head looks pretty spot on. The body's a little weird to me. The body is like a little, I don't know. The head looks almost perfect. The body is kind of rectangle-ish. It's a little squarish, but it still looks good. It does have the weird articulation right in the middle, which gives him a gap in his spines, and I hate that because I don't understand giving something articulation that it never used. Like, I don't see the point. Like, just don't. Like, I know, like, people want their toys to have a lot of people want their toys to have a lot of articulation, and I get that. But if in the movie he never did that, then we don't need articulation there, especially if it gives it that weird spine. Like, the spine gap I hate. And we have a spine gap for no reason. It doesn't need to be there. It just doesn't. So that annoys me about that figure. I'm going to buy these because I like Super 7. I like toys. I think all of the other Super 7 Ultimates that I've seen in person are amazing. They put out really, really super work. I was not blown away like I wanted to be when I saw these, but I need to see them in person. I want to have them in hand. I want to buy these, and then I'll make the decision going forward depending on what the next wave is. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited that it's a rose form Biolante. I just wish it was in scale with the Godzilla that's coming with it. That annoys me big time. What, Jay? What do you think of these toys?
Not honestly. Not.
I'm over here ranting about it. So
no. My thoughts are not too dissimilar from yours. I would say, overall, I just want to get this out there. I pre-ordered these. I'm gonna get them.
Yeah, we're buying them.
We're buying them. I want to see them in hand and kind of before I decide on what's next. And this is something, a line I'm going to collect. I was bummed about a couple of things. First off, I was happy they finally were releasing it because I was seriously questioning it. But I had psyched myself, and this is a J problem. This is not a Super 7 problem. I personally psyched myself up that it was going to be, 4 figures, but it was going to be some obscure, not that Flower Beast Rose form of Violante isn't obscure because we don't get a lot of that, but
it's still Biolante, which is the popular.
Exactly. And everybody loves that film. And I was hoping for like a little bit deeper of a cut. And so once again, J problem. That's why I'm not super excited about it, but that's not a Super 7 did anything wrong. I agree with you. The spine gap, which is now a term apparently, spine gap doesn't bother me as much as you. I notice it now more after you bring it up.
It's annoying.
I totally get it. I agree with you.
We're gonna put out a shirt. Our next shirt is gonna be like
Mind the Spine Gap.
Mind the Spine Gap.
It'll be like the London, the underground.
Yes.
One. Anyway, John, you're capable. Get on that. I love how anything art. We're like, John, do it. Help us out. It's because we trust you, John. We trust you.
Yeah. We'll do it right.
Anyway, but the Godzilla, I agree. It was a little frumpy, but the head sculpt I think made up for it, so it was cool.
Yeah.
I did have an issue, other than I was excited they were doing the flower form, the rose form. I didn't love it. The scaling was step one. I was like, even the artwork they designed for it was in scale with the figure. So like it even looked weird. Because to me, the coolest thing about rose form, beast form is easy because it looks badass. But rose form is just how big it is and how it just towers over Godzilla.
Above,
yeah, that's the impressive visual to me. And that's what I want to recapture, right? I can't do that here because it's literally the same size.
You have to you have to put your Rose Biollante with a different Godzilla, from a different line. And then in the pictures that they posted, they all. First of all the photos of these toys are renders. We have not seen the actual figures. Yeah. They're all digital renders. But there is a picture of Godzilla standing next to Biollante, and it looks so weird because they're the same size. And I'm just like, that's off. That does not look right.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about Godzilla against a giant flower, Godzilla's going to win. Oh, yeah, but the flower's like twice as tall as him and whatever. Like, okay, then there we go. But like, it just... Yeah, so I was bummed about that. I know you mentioned, and I saw this commentary a lot. The innards of Biollante, don't look great compared to what they really look like in the film, and other toys have captured it really well. To be honest with you, like they really have. So I for all those reasons, I just was a little disappointed in that piece. Gonna buy them, gonna check them out. I'm sure they're gonna do wonderful things.
Yeah,
but. I just didn't quite understand this. Like, if they couldn't do a larger Biollante Rose form and make it make sense financially, hey, that's they know what costs what. That's their thing. Then don't do that. Like, I just felt like it was like, why are they launching with something that is over the top movie inaccurate to the movie, right? Like they're fundamentally changing the size of the kaiju as their first offering. That concerns me. And so that's why I just wasn't like, it's awesome. I'm still getting them. I mean,
for sure. And something that I mentioned on Toy Anxiety is that we all have come to expect Super 7 Ultimates to put out the lesser known, the weirder characters, but I think they have to kind of try to be they have to kind of come at Godzilla a little different, because like Ninja Turtles is like it's a given. Ninja Turtles, people are going to buy the Simpsons, people are going to buy the Disney stuff. They can afford to be like, they're cheaper. People Super 7 can afford to be like, let's put out the weirdest ones. But Godzilla, like the Super 7 Ultimates, Godzilla, it's like it's a little new territory. There may be a little like, we're going to do Godzilla first. They have to kind of make sure people are going to get hooked in. And I know Rose form Biollante is probably a little more rare, but still, it's still the two most, iconic. And I can't complain, because Godzilla versus Biollante is my favorite movie. It's my favorite Godzilla movie. It's my favorite designs. So I'm here for that. And I know it sounds like we're complaining, but they're just nitpicks. We're buying the toys. We're buying the toys. Hopefully they come in and all my nitpicks are like, I don't give a fuck, because these are amazing. So
I was waiting for their first wave to be 89 Godzilla, Biollante, Megalon, and Shin Godzilla, and they'd be like, hey, it's the Jake wave. Maybe Jaguar.
That'd be amazing. I'd be into that. Yeah, dude. We'll see. These are supposed to, it says that they're going to be coming out in 2022, winter 22. And that seems insane to me, because this is not just a Super 7 thing, but like Super 7's kind of behind, and they have a lot of other toys. I have 4 different Super 7 Turtles on pre-order that are a part of 4 different waves, and none of them have started. You know what I mean? None of them are shipping yet. So I don't know if 2022, if this year if that's true. We don't have pictures of the things yet, so I don't know.
It'll be a race. It's going to be a race between what gets here first: the 91 X Plus that we have of Godzilla. Mezco,
I keep forgetting about that.
Mezco or Super 7.
So I got an email from Mezco saying that I was about to be charged. Now. Here's the thing. The pre-order was a while back. Yeah. And it was for 2 different sets, right? They released set A and B at the same time. I got an email saying I was about to be charged for round 2 for the second set. I cannot remember how I was like, I thought these were paid for. When I go to the Mezco website and look at my account, it says paid. And I was like, maybe I paid for them on 2 different cards, because I didn't want to pay $250 at once or whatever. I don't remember. It was so long ago. But on my website, it says paid. So I'm like, I hope I'm not going to get charged. I sent them an email asking them like, hey, can you guys make sure? Have heard nothing back from them. But the fact that I got an email saying, you're going to get charged soon makes me wonder if something's getting shipped soon. But it's for the second one, not for the first one.
I saw that it's for set
I don't
2.
understand. I don't understand what's happening with Mezco. Hopefully one of these days we're going to get those toys.
And before I started podcast with you, I got an email that the Attack of Peter, I was like, the Attack Peter Mondo statue is shipping. So
cool. Yeah, I saw somebody post something about that online.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my I'm in my email right now, and it looks like I got an email to my junk mail from Awesome Collector.
Yeah.
And this is about nothing that I have, I guess. It says Monster Arts arriving soon. Payments for new arrivals will be charged. I wonder if that means my my Jet Jaguar. Yeah. I did pre-order the Jet Jaguar Singular Point Monster Arts figure. So maybe that's coming. We'll see.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't collect Monster Arts, but I've been so tempted. My favorite Monster Arts figures that have come out, I love their Godzilla Ultima. I love the Jet Jaguar, and I love the Rodan that they've done. I'm like, do I need to start collecting Singular Point as Monster Arts? I own no Monster Art stuff.
The Rodan's amazing, and I've thought about, but I don't collect that stuff. I got a good number of it, but I don't buy everything that come out. But the Jet Jaguar looks amazing, and I think
really good.
And I think it's the best Singular Point Jet Jaguar out there so far. So I bought it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm not gonna not buy it
until X Plus starts doing them.
Exactly. So we got one more news topic here.
Oh, it's a big one though.
It's a big one. We're getting another movie. We're getting another MonsterVerse film here. It just popped up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
They're I guess it's I don't know if it's already getting filming later this year. I guess, and it's happening
in Australia. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I think has come out since this first, now when this first started coming out, they were reporting it as Kong versus Godzilla 2.
I know,
but now they're saying that it's just going to be a Kong movie. They're saying that it's just a Kong movie, so it could be, Godzilla might not, and probably won't be in this, right?
No.
So
I mean, that would be my guess. I mean, I agree. When everybody released it as like Godzilla versus Kong 2, that is just like a perfect game of telephone of like, no, it's a sequel in the MonsterVerse. Oh, it's a sequel to the last one, which is Godzilla versus Kong. Oh, it's Godzilla versus Kong 2, and it turned into this. And like, yeah, I agree. Like, I think as we've kind of peeled back the layers of the onion, it's more of a, hey, this is just that sequel. And we heard right out of the gate that Son of Kong was being talked about, and other Kong and Hollow Earth adventure type movies would be the next logical step. And based off of the actual film, it would be the next logical step, I think.
Yeah.
And regardless of Toho licensing and everything like that. So I think, I don't know if it's been confirmed yet. You may know, like, I'm assuming that like it's pretty good chance that this is just that follow-up Kong.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's 100% confirmed, but I have been seeing reports where they're just like, oh, it's not Godzilla versus Kong 2, it's just Kong. So
yeah,
that's fine. We'll get some new monsters, probably some other kaiju. We're in Hollow Earth. Maybe it's going to be weird. I don't care what they do. I don't care what it is. I just want these movies to keep happening. I want more MonsterVerse, and I want more Toho. I'm starting to itch for a Toho Godzilla movie to come out. It's starting to drive me a little crazy, but I don't care, man. These movies are kind of silly. They're here and there. There's been some great stuff. There's been some weird stuff, but I don't care. I just want more of it. And I got a call from Craig earlier today. He was in Target and he saw some of the new Playmate stuff. Have you heard about that? There's new Playmates has another round of Godzilla versus Kong stuff out, and it's like it's more branded as just MonsterVerse. And I think we saw some pictures of it, in the last month or so. But he saw the Kong versus Godzilla playset in Target today. Yeah, so that's starting to hit.
Yeah, and they're releasing a couple of the other non-MonsterVerse branded ones as well, like the Godzilla Terrestris from Singular Point is in that wave, and some other ones as well that will that are being released at the same time, just under that kind of the Godzilla Bandai or Playmates banner. Yeah, cool stuff. And I agree. I mean, I think that the cool thing about them filming is, hey, maybe we're getting this thing in 2023, which would be kind of cool. But what I think is the fun part about these MonsterVerse movies has been speculating what new kaiju or old kaiju are going to be involved. And what I would love to see, and this is a little bit of like wish list, but I think it would make sense. Like, I want to see, if it is Kong in Hollow Earth, whether it's Son of Kong or not, I would like to see him battle multiple kaiju, but like one recognizable kaiju that's also in Hollow Earth, because from the Godzilla lineage, because I think that would be a cool way to tie it in. You know, I really think that would be something that would be super neat. I love the new custom kaiju. I do. And don't get me wrong, if Behemoth is in there and all the other ones, that'd be cool too. But, and I'd like to see some new ones as well. But like, I would love to see like Kong against like Anguirus or King Caesar or or Megalon. They're in the middle of the earth. I mean, like Godzilla or King Kong versus Megalon would make so much sense. Like, I just would like to see a cool interpretation of I know, right? I mean, so that's something that I would hope that would happen. I don't think it will, but I think it'd be something that would be cool. Another kind of connective tissue between the two franchises.
I agree with you. That's a wish list thing. I don't think it's going to happen. But to me, it's just like I kind of rack my brain wondering what this movie would even be about, because it's like we got, the classic Kong story, being in his home and having to leave his home, and then we got Godzilla versus Kong, and now they're both they got an understanding, they're good guys. We're not going to see those two fight anymore. We got Mecha Godzilla, which means we're not going to get a Mechanicong immediately. You know what I mean? They're not going to do. I mean, like, making a Mecha Kong or a Mechanicong makes sense, but not immediately after Mecha Godzilla. So we're not going to get that. He's at his home. He's at his home in Hollow Earth. I don't understand what the conflict could be. You know what I mean? Unless it's somebody who's like trying to take over Hollow Earth, or maybe, hey, I've been wanting this. Maybe aliens. Maybe they'll bring in some aliens. Like, we've talked about, they mentioned that King Ghidorah was a space monster, so maybe we'll get some aliens coming in. I don't know. But dude, I just hope it's cool. I hope there's a lot of monsters in it. I just want to see it. I don't care what it is. I don't care.
Even if it's a like long dormant monster that's still in Hollow Earth, it also like it begs the question of like, we know that Godzilla's race and Kong's race were kind of the alphas, and like, how would this would have not popped up unless there was some, it was enlarged due to radioactivity, that whole thing. But I'm curious. But kind of dovetailing off of that, I totally missed this part. Like, I don't know whenever this news came out, but the Apple TV show, apparently it's been leaked, like kind of like some of the plot around it. It's like it's going to take place. Once again, who knows if this is valid? But these are from credible sources, but like, it's leaked. They think it's going to be set after the events of 2014. So after Godzilla destroys it, and it's kind of what happens basically between that and King of the Monsters in the U.S. I mean, obviously Skull Island happened in between, but and kind of the I don't know, the human rebuilding and trying to understand and kind of catch up and understand Godzilla and stuff after that period. And I think Monarch is going to be kind of the key thing there. The filming project is called Hourglass, which makes sense. Monarch, the Hourglass logo. Yeah. But I don't know how, like, you would
weird. I wonder. That kind of. I mean, I know Kong Skull Island came out kind of in the middle of that, but that timing kind of takes Kong out of your show a little bit.
Yeah, and it obviously takes Godzilla out of your show, right? Because he doesn't come resurface again until later,
right?
And so
I mean that, and it
conflict.
It makes sense to me that I didn't think Godzilla was going to be in the show, because we're at the point where I don't think MonsterVerse has the rights for Godzilla anymore. So, but I thought it was going to just rely on Kong. I thought it was going to be a Kong show or something, but yeah, that kind of takes Kong out of the running. I wonder if it's just going to be all new creatures dealing with new. I have no fucking clue, man. That seems kind of weird.
My first gut is like, if you think about in 2019, King of the Monsters, they have all of the kaiju in their little traps their homes, right? Like Monster Zero is in there, Rodan's in there, Mothra, like, but then you have all the custom ones, like they're all, how did they trap Behemoth, Titanus Behemoth in, wherever he is, Moscow or whatever. Like, I mean, I don't know. So I don't know if it's like how they go from Godzilla's destroying everything to like basically wrangling all these kaiju.
But I'm gonna have to rewatch King of the Monsters. It's been a while since I watched it, but I didn't think that they had captured those monsters. I just thought that like King Ghidorah has been in ice since before.
Yeah,
they just found King Ghidorah.
Yeah, monitored him. Yeah,
found out that Rodan lives in a fucking
a volcano or Mexico.
But I mean, Mothra. We could get some Mothra stuff. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, how they have them in their little areas there where they're monitoring them. I don't know.
I'm just glad
there's the conflict still.
Yeah, I'm just happy that we live in a world where now in our adult lives we're gonna have mainstream ongoing Godzilla or kaiju stuff. Like when you're a kid, we've talked about it before. When you're a kid, you kind of feel like you're the only person who knows what Godzilla is. There's not a whole lot of people that's not widely out there. So when you find stuff and you see toys here and there, or when the Hanna-Barbera cartoon was on, you caught it on TV, it's like, whoa, it's a real thing. It exists. But now it's just like, it's just going to be on TV. We're going to have more movies and more. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I think between the Apple TV Plus show, the Netflix series, the new movie, then coupled with whatever's going to go on with Singular Point, whatever's going to go on with Toho, plus things like Shin Ultraman and some other things that are hitting over time. Like it could be a really fun couple of years on the kaiju front, whether it's Legendary or Toho or another one. So I'm excited.
Me too, man. Yeah, I'm ready. Bring it all. Bring it and bring more Kong Face and Chains. I'm ready. I want another Kong Face and Chain set. No,
do you think that is the actually what Peter Jackson used in the film?
100%. You can tell it's molded straight from. Andy Serkis just wore this.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis just put this on, and
hey, it would be an upgrade over King Kong Lives.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. Oh, yeah, dude, that's it, man.
I thought you were getting mesmerized by it.
I am. I was just looking at it. I was like, what is happening? I'm wearing that to bed. Dude, I think we did it. I don't know what else there is. There's more. There's so much. There's just so much to look forward to, I think, in the world of kaiju. There's so much to look forward to in the world of toy shows and toys and Sofubi and everything. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited that we get to live it. And that's all I got to say. Jay, you got anything else?
Yeah, I'm excited. You're excited. Fire up your laser cannons. Mind the spine gap.
Mind the spine gap.
And go out and check out some other YHS properties, whether that's Toy Anxiety. Yes, have some classic. Or the Ghostbusters Containment Unit. Yeah. Everything is going on right now. Go watch some YHS cardio on YouTube. There's so much really, really awesome stuff out there. And also, please go leave us a review. We got some really good. Actually, we had some really cool, good reviews came in. Some 5 stars on Apple.
Oh, good.
I'm excited to see those from a couple people. So
please
help us out. Yeah. We want to. We want to make sure that that we can, get to the top of those search lists and everything. And we do appreciate it because we know there's a lot of great kaiju podcasts out there, a lot of great kaiju content, and a lot of people doing really cool stuff around memorializing Akira Takarada and some cool stuff to go watch. But if you have some time, watch us, listen to us, and please, thank you for that. But also, please leave us a review. It means a lot.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I can't say anything more than that, except for if you haven't, go watch. Go watch everything. Go watch all these movies. Watch King Kong Escape. 2 King Kongs fight to the death. Bye, guys.
Bye.